Hello and welcome back to the JW Thoughts channel. My name is Wally and today we are looking at a brand new Caleb and Sophia video. I find these to be really obnoxious. The whole Caleb and Sophia videos, as most of you guys know, are people that have been around on the channel for a long time. I still haven't actually watched all of the Caleb and Sophia videos, but I am trying to keep up with the new lore. So this one is about Caleb apparently wants to become an unbaptized publisher. So it's pretty short, so a quick video today, but don't forget to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. I hope you guys are enjoying the more frequent uploads. Hopefully we'll keep that up going forward. And with all of that being said, let's do this thing.
Hey Dad, here's my service report.
Good. You can put it on the bench.
Okay. Dad, when can I be a publisher?
Ah, you have brought this up before. When we're together in the ministry, you do very well when speaking at the door.
The Watchtower is trying to recruit the younger generation to become publishers. For those of you that don't know, everyone that is a Jehovah's Witness is considered a publisher. This can come in the form of a baptized publisher. That's where you dedicate the rest of your entire life for all eternity to the Watchtower organization. Quite literally, and if you ever leave, then you're shunned by all of your friends and family. Or you can be an unbaptized publisher, which means that you have the approval of the organization to go door to door and preach and basically call yourself a Jehovah's Witness, even though you're not quite dedicated yet. Now that sort of very specific, that you are given approval by the organization. That will come into play in a little bit. But here the Watchtower is trying to capitalize on something that is very natural for a lot of children, and that is looking at their older siblings and imitating them. I mean, we see this in the animal kingdom. Little babies learn, toddlers learn, teenagers learn, everyone learns by imitation, and one of the strongest bonds that kids have is with their older siblings, and they, whether it's a lion or a duck or a human, they follow that older sibling so they can learn how to do things. And so when Sophia comes and says, hey, here's my time, Dad, I just wanted to give you my service report. Obviously, Caleb, because it's literally we've evolved to do this, he wants to imitate her. So the motivation for it is going to be along those lines, and not necessarily because, yes, I am fully aware and I fully believe that being a Jehovah's Witness is the right thing to do. I think the Bible is, and how the Watchtower organization interprets that, is correct. I think Armageddon is right around the corner, so I need to make sure that my butt is a publisher. It has nothing to do with that. It's as simple as capitalizing on our evolutionary need to imitate.
When we're together in the ministry, you do very well when speaking at the door.
So then I can?
Not just yet. It's like getting a license to drive a car. You have to be approved.
Oh.
We can discuss how the elders are involved in approving you. For now, let's see if you might qualify.
Now, this is very important because the Watchtower organization, when it comes to legal matters, they try and weasel their way out of responsibility of elders and say, well, they are not like corporate officers for the Watchtower organization. They don't speak for Watchtower. They're not employed by Watchtower. Whatever they do, they're doing it basically independently. But I think Watchtower might actually regret making this very specific video because, again, every one of Jehovah's Witnesses is a publisher. And what did he just say? Well, let's see how the elders are involved in approving that. So the process is that elders have to approve anyone that wants to become a Jehovah's Witness. They're literally the gatekeepers between non-Jehovah's Witnesses and Jehovah's Witnesses. So courts, governments, people that might want or might be interested in this might take a look at this video and say, wait, I thought you said that the elders in any local congregation are basically not corporate officers for Watchtower. Yet no one can become a Jehovah's Witness unless they're approved by an elder? A bit of a head scratcher, that one for sure. Now, the other aspect of this is when he says, well, first it's like getting a driver's license. You need to be approved for it. Well, whenever you're getting a driver's license, you need to basically demonstrate your capability of handling a vehicle safely on the road. That's like sort of the test. But in order to become a Jehovah's Witness or become an unbaptized publisher, the standard is much less than that. Most Jehovah's Witnesses that I have ever known were unbaptized publishers when they were 7, 8 years old. It's not a very high bar. We're not talking about, wow, you really got to be able to demonstrate, this, that, and the third. You don't actually need to be able to explain any of Watchtower's core doctrine. You don't need to know any of Watchtower's policies or anything like that. As long as you can say, the Watchtower is great, Satan is bad, and Armageddon is coming, they will basically rubber stamp you and you'll become an unbaptized publisher. Ask any unbaptized publisher right now, ask any Jehovah's Witness for that matter, right now, to explain how they arrived at 1914 being the invisible return of Jesus Christ. Have them explain why 607 is actually the correct date and not 586, 587, depending on which biblical verse you look at. Have them explain, the 70 weeks of years. Have them explain any of these things, and they will just hit you with a fat, because no one really knows. So when he says you need to be approved, all you really need to do is be willing. If you're willing, they will sign you up. And why that is particularly problematic is that when you go through these various steps of becoming a Jehovah's Witness, all of them have a sort of ramification with it. I just heard someone sent me a story the other day where they were an unbaptized publisher. They never actually got baptized, and yet their entire family still treats them as disfellowshipped, even though you can't be disfellowshipped. So people are shunned even though they're not baptized. So as you progress or as you gain this approval, it comes with consequences if you decide to leave. And the problem with that is people don't understand the consequences and yet are getting the approval. And that is where governments are starting to and need to, on an increased scale, look at this and say, is this right to do to children? Is this okay? Can we allow a child to be approved for a position that has consequences that will affect them later on in life without their knowledge or consent? Can a child even consent? I think we all know the answer to that. So a lot of different interesting things are being talked about just in the first 30 seconds of this video.
First, do you obey Jehovah and your parents?
Yeah.
Next, do you believe the Bible is Jehovah's Word? And can you explain the basic teachings?
Yes.
And are your friends Jehovah's friends?
Yeah.
Caleb, you are already doing very well.
Caleb doesn't have a choice in any of these areas. He doesn't have a choice. He can't say, no, I don't actually believe the Bible is God's word. That's not an option for his young brain. If he says that, his parents are going to pound it into his head that no, this is absolutely God's word. They will literally force him to believe that it is God's word. Are your friends, friends of Jehovah? There's no sort of social scene outside of the congregation that children get to enjoy when they grow up as Jehovah's Witnesses. If they're lucky, they're not homeschooled and they get to go to a regular school, but they're still not making friends with the other kids that aren't Jehovah's Witnesses. They keep those friendships and all of those associations within their congregations. Do you obey your parents? I mean, I don't think he's going to just like slap his dad and say, "Ha ha, take that, sucker." So that is the standard. The standard for becoming an unbaptized publisher is all things that he doesn't have a choice in. I see what's happening here. Looks like a heavy dose of childhood indoctrination.
One last thing. Do you want to be one of Jehovah's Witnesses and preach?
I do. I think I'm ready.
I think you are too. But we'll have to see what the elders decide. I'm so proud of you, son. Now, could you hand me that wrench?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Now let's live in this alternate universe and just say, what if he said no? Dad, I don't want to be one of Jehovah's Witnesses. How would his dad react? What would be the consequence of that, just him saying that? Well, I hate to think about it because, as we know, historically, Watchtower has no problem with not sparing the rod. Their words, not mine. So, quite literally, this religion is beaten into children. It was beaten into me. It wasn't an option. It was, you are going to do this. This is who we are. This is what we do. That's it. And if you don't sign up for it, then you can just expect to basically be shunned out of your family anyway. It's a really grim sort of situation. And I don't know exactly what Watchtower is trying to do here, because there are governments, like I've said, asking questions about this very subject and childhood indoctrination and, raising questions of, can a child really make an informed choice? No, they can't. So what is Watchtower saying? No, our children, they choose to become Jehovah's Witnesses. It's not really the case. Anyway, I found this new one to be quite interesting, especially with the things happening in Norway and in Japan. So yeah, I guess we'll see how all of those things play out. And when there's new developments going on there, I will be updating you guys on that stuff as well. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Watching Some Caleb and Sophia. If you're still around, don't forget to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time. I think we should change the "I will see you" next time. I think we should go with my normal catchphrase of stay safe, be kind, and don't forget to smile.